About PSG though, Brian, it just brings me back to sort of the back end of last season, and PSG and City and Chelsea in the semi-finals, and we were talking about on the live shows about how post the pandemic and the financial chaos in some clubs like Barcelona didn't have those bottomless pockets that these clubs have, that would the game come to be dominated now going forward by the likes of PSG, and this seems to fit into that narrative. You can throw in Grealish signing for City for 100 million, maybe Kane going to City as well.
And outside of those massive signings, there hasn't been too much happening in the market. There's been a lot of speculation about the Messi situation, first of all, about Grealish. That always seemed to be the deal was going to happen. Lukaku looks like that deal was always going to happen as well, up around the 100 million mark for him to go to Chelsea. So here you've got these three big major clubs. But outside of that, there hasn't been an awful lot happening in the market. I think that we haven't seen the full fallout yet of the damage that's been done to the clubs over the period of the COVID time. I think you look at Inter Milan having to sell Lukaku, having won the league last year and had a very good season, previous season. Also, in the 2 years he's there, scored an extraordinary number of goals. I think it was 64 goals he scored. And yet they're selling their best player, talk of them selling Martinez as well, playing up front with Lukaku. Have sold Hakimi already as well to PSG for over 50 million. You would have thought that Inter might have been somewhat stable, but it appears not. So I think there's lots of other clubs that are in trouble, and we haven't heard the full truth of it yet. I think as the season goes on, we might hear more trouble, and maybe even clubs been in a position where they'll struggle to pay the substantial wages that they're committed to at the highest level of football. But it looks like unless a team is backed almost by a state, a very rich state, or in the case of Chelsea, by a very, very, very rich owner, they're going to struggle in the market. Yeah. But it doesn't mean teams can't beat them on the pitch, Tommy.
Well, that leads me to my next question I was going to ask you, because the talk the last 24 hours has been who's going to stop PSG now. Front line of Neymar, Mbappe and Messi, like it's fantasy football stuff. On the other hand, like, is there an argument that you can have too much of a good thing? And I know they've signed some other really good players this summer, but is there any fear for you that won't actually work, that you can't have that amount of attacking flair in one team in the modern game?
Well, that's the challenge for the coach, Pochettino, and he's under pressure. Pochettino went there last year, didn't go well. They were beaten by Lille for the league last year, lost I think 8 games in the league. I mean, Lille would be maybe their expenditure would be, their budget would be probably maybe 1/6, I would say, of PSG. That was last year. What it's like this year, it'll be much worse than that. But that just shows you they're on the pitch. They weren't right. They won the French Cup. That would have been unsatisfactory for them, beaten in the semi-final. The Champions League having been beaten in the final the previous year. So it was unsatisfactory season, but they have now given them even so much more talent. Donnarumma coming into goalkeeper, Hakimi a full-back, Wijnaldum for the middle of the field.
Sergio Ramos as well.
Ramos comes in as well. So much talent. So he's going to be under pressure to deliver the Champions League. They should coast through the French league this year, but it's all about the Champions League again for them. So how will they fit those players into an efficient format? Will Messi be asked to walk back? Normally in Pochettino's team, he demands of the front players that the defending starts from the front. We're not seeing so much of that from Messi in recent years. It's been hang about stuff, wait till he receives the ball in the final third, show us bits of magic with his passing. Is he going to be... Well, you can hang about. The other 9 outfield players will do the work. Will Mbappe put up with that with Neymar? It's going to be intriguing to see how that works out.
Between all those is fascinating.
Yeah, but we've seen it before with Neymar, Messi and Suarez when the three of them were at Barcelona together doing sensational stuff. But it was back in 2015 they won the Champions League. Whether it'll work again, Messi's 34 now. Neymar's a bit older. Didn't play that many matches as Neymar last year in the league for them. They were keeping him for the Champions League. Ultimately, once Mbappe missed that for the second leg against Manchester City, they struggled with Icardi. So it just shows you they might need all them on the pitch to produce it. Midfield area needs to be better for them, and they need to be better defensively. So we got they look like they've all the
guaranteed.
players,
Yeah.
but it's not guaranteed. We saw in the last couple of years the workman-like teams were able to win. Obviously, Bayern Munich were a sensationally hard-working, talented team. Liverpool the year before. We see just, and then Chelsea
But I
this
tell